Hi everyone, it's Eddie here at Eddie Makes Art, and today I'm going to do some postcards. Now, this is going to be part of the Makers Art is Patriotic postcard project. And to find out more about that, you can go over to Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists. That link is always in the description box of my video. And you can join the group hosted by PM Artist Studio. And in the featured area of the group, once you're in, has a post with all the details. I'm going to read them off to you right now. And if you want to be a participant, you can email Mariah Rushing, who is the M and P&M Artist Studio. She's running this project. You can email her, and I will put her email in the description box to this video so you can check out, so you can email her and let her know that you want to participate in this project. So what Mariah says in the group is, thank you for being part of this powerful creative effort to speak up through art. To keep project focused and impactful, here's what to include when you participate. So the focus of the project is about using art as peaceful creative resistance. We're highlighting social justice and civic engagement that support an inclusive and just society through postcard-sized work. To participate, please follow these guidelines. Include the hashtag #MakersArtIsPatriotic in your post, if you're posting on social media or in the group. Artwork should be postcard size, approximately 4x6 or 5x7. You can submit a clear photo or scan of the postcard to Mariah's email. Again, that's in the description box of the video. Your post must align with the project's missions. Creative, civil, and thoughtful expressions of patriotism, not fear-based messaging. Posts that do not reflect this intent may be removed to protect the integrity of the project. If your postcard includes a song lyric, quote, or image not your own, please include proper credit in your post or email. Let's create postcards that inspire with the power of our art and community. And she says, thank you for being part of it. So, and she will email you back once you email her a PDF with various songs that fall into this sort of protest theme. So there are, let me see if I can find my PDF. I know I have it right here. Sorry. Okay, so there's like, If I Had a Hammer by Pete Seeger, Where Have All the Flowers Gone by Pete Seeger, Nina Simone's Mississippi Goddamn, Fortunate Son by Clearance Clearwater Revival, Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, there's All Right by Kendrick Lamar, and Who'll Stand With Us by Local Boys, Boston's Dropkick Murphys. And I've done two already. I did one with All Right by Kendrick Lamar, and I did the Dropkick Murphys one. If you've been watching the live streams, you've seen those. If not, over in Makers, there is a post that I created showing you the front and the back. I did those as double-sided postcards, and that way I can use an image, the image from either side, and send it as a postcard. So I would, copy it and print it out. All right, let's get to the art. This is gonna be interesting. This is upside down. So, vinyl paper's been really trendy lately, and I was like, oh, maybe I should order some. And then I happened to be cleaning, organizing, doing some getting rid of stuff, and I found these vinyl sticker paper. I don't know if it's exactly the same stuff that PM Artist has been using, but it's vinyl paper, it's sticker paper. It's 8.5 by 11, same. It's quick drying, excellent absorption. It's durable and water resistant. Now, theirs is not water resistant. It's non-water resistant, the one that they're using. But it's compatible with most inkjet printers. It's a standard letter size, 80 microns thick, if that means anything. yeah, so I got this on Amazon a while ago, probably 2 years ago, but they still have it. It's still available. So if you want to screenshot that, you can save it for later so you can find it if you want. And then for the base of my postcards, I'm using a black mixed media paper. Bam, bam. I cut them into 4x6. So we can either do it as a landscape postcard or vertical. Mine are going to be in the portrait mode, and I cut 4, but I only need 2. But this, you can get 4 out of the 9x12 sheets of paper. Is that right? Yeah. And you're left with a 1-inch strip here, which I did some color swatching on here. So yeah, 9x12 black mixed media paper. This is a Strathmore. It's a thicker paper, but it's not super heavy. It is 184 pound, 300 GSM. Okay. So for, I chose This Land Is Your Land and Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater. And they talk about in here right away, red, white, and blue in the first line. So what I want to do is I want to take one of these and I want to paint it in red, white, and blue using these acrylic colors from Arteza that are metallic. So here I have Pearly Raspberry Red, Pearl White, and Pearl Electric Blue. So I'm gonna do a red, I wanna do a red, white, and blue background, and then this will go over it. I'll have to trim it a little bit, but this will go over. You know, we can use just part of it too. We could always do something, you know, like that, cut it like that. I have a flag here that we can add if we wanted to, maybe do the flag on top. I don't know. I mean, I gave myself options, so I don't have to use it necessarily. But I do want to include this. I think I'm just going to add this to the back. But I think this one, I'm going to keep it as simple as I can for my own sanity. And I'm going to do the paints here. So let me get where's my paintbrush? Yeah, here we go. I do need some water. Give me a second. Okay, get some water there. And I think, yeah, let's start with the red up here. Actually, I'm going to start with the white. Let me start with that in the middle. About equal, right? So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is having a lovely summer. I know it's like super hot out there in a lot of places. Super hot here, especially today. Today and yesterday, oh my goodness. You walk out the door and the heat blast just hits you in the face and takes your breath away because the air is thick. So it makes it difficult to breathe, especially when if you have a breathing, you know, issue or whatever. So you gotta keep that in mind when you're going out in this weather. And like Becky says, stay hydrated, kids. All right, that's pretty good. Once that dries, see, when this dries, that's what it looks like. So almost the same, but I'm not, obviously I'm using metallic, and it's gonna be a little more on the silver side, but I'm completely okay with that. All right, we'll take this, give that a little bit of rinse. I wasn't gonna do a video for these, and I decided to do one because not a lot of the content creators are doing videos. So I thought, let me throw my hat in the ring and do a video on this protest project. And I know Anna Lahr, Lahr, she has been doing, during her live streams, she's been making some fantastic cards. Like, mine don't match hers. She's doing amazing work over there. And so definitely check her out. You know, you don't have to wait to catch her live. Watch some of her replays. She's very good at what she does. I mean, this project started with her and Mariah together, so let's give her her credit too. Very nice lady. Okay. So I think that's good. Nice. I don't want to make it too thick, but I don't want to spread it out too thin either. I'm not looking for perfection here. Just remember, the lyrics are going to go over it. This fine, obviously, it's clear, so the lyrics will go right over it. All right, let's do some blue. This is the Pearl Electric Blue. Maybe better coverage if I put it in a few different spots. Time to hydrate. I'm in the AC all day, right? Now, I shut it off to make a video, otherwise you wouldn't hear what I'm saying. So, because it's an big old industrial one. So it gets very dry in here. I'm going to these water things like crazy. They're good though. It's just no sugar, no caffeine, no sodium. Good stuff. See if we can get a better layer here than I did with the red. So that needs to dry before I do anything else. Set that to the side. And then for the other song, I chose Woody Guthrie's This Land Is Your Land, because as far back as I can remember, that was a song that has been part of my life. You know, we learned it in grade school. Shoot, I think we even learned it in kindergarten. And it was always part of the education that I received, because I think it has an important message that is for everybody. So if you don't know the lyrics, it starts like this: "This land is your land, and this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, Manhattan. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me." And it goes on, and then there's the line, this land was made for you and me. There was a big high wall there that tried to stop me. Sign was painted, said private property, but on the backside, it didn't say nothing. This land was made for you and me when the sun comes shining. Then I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling. A voice came chanting, as the fog was lifting, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, and this land is my land. And it goes on and on. It just, I think it's it's a song that really that breaks it down into, you know, these basic elements of, you know, what it means to be unified, or to be a country, and to appreciate all that it has to offer, including its people, right? You know, I grew up with the idea of America being a melting pot, and everybody's welcome, no matter your color, creed, anything. Gay, straight, trans, black, white, Haitian, Indian, everything. Everybody is allowed a chance at the American dream. That's how I grew up. And I think that in these days and times, we need to remember that. And we need to fight for that. And there's many ways to protest and fight for what is right. And it's not a time to be selfish. This is not a time to think of just me, just me. It's a time to think of beyond your immediate group. It's beyond, you have to think beyond your social group. You have to think beyond your state, right? Because if you know anything about the United States, is every state is very different. Many states are very different. We have Alaska, which is so different than Florida, which is so different than Maine, which is so different from Arizona and California, and within each state there are wonderful, wonderful things, wonderful, wonderful people, and a great history in many respects, but we can't forget about the bad history. And we have to accept the realities of our past mistakes and learn from them, not repeat them. I think that's an important thing to remember as well. So let's get back to the art. Enough of me chitter-chattering. So for this one, I chose a Statue of Liberty photo. And I did it in a few different sizes, including just cropping it so it's just the Statue of Liberty. And then I did a couple of smaller ones. So I'm trying to think. I'm doing this on that. I want to use the flag for sure. So I'm thinking, because this is obviously it's going to be, I'm just going to cut this out because I'm not going to stick down that entire piece of plastic. I'm just going to do the star. Or the flag. I was looking at the stars when I said that. So, oops. There's stuff on my hand getting on the plastic, or is that the ink? I don't know. Maybe it's the ink, yeah. So you gotta be careful. You gotta let this dry. This didn't dry for 24 hours. It probably should have dried for 24 hours, but I'm impatient. So maybe we do something like this with the lyrics behind, and we can add, or we have room to add, this land is your land. Cut that out. Or maybe do it right here. The other option is to do a landscape version of this, right, on the card. And then maybe have a portion of the lyrics, on this side, and the flag on that side. I think that's a good idea. Let's keep it simple, right? So what I want to do though is I want to tear my edges. Go all around. Because it'll go with the torn edge of that. The flag, and it's just a little bit nicer. I think just a little more interesting. So not everything has a straight line, which is kind of nice. All right. Now the reason there's a trick. If you don't want to see this white edge on the paper, tear it away from you. If you want to see the white line, which I do because I'm going to put some color on there, pull it towards you, or rip towards you. That is a simple thing. All right, I don't want to cut off too much of this water, so I'm going to be very careful here. Let me just, oh, here we go. That's what it is. I always forget, like roll it in like that, and you can get closer to the edge, especially when you get towards the center of the paper. Okay. So there, so the border is, we got a black border, and then we have that going on. Okay, alcohol markers, alcohol ink markers. And what color are we doing this edge? Do Statue of Liberty green. Let's give it a shot. Why not? You don't have to press hard. That torn edge will suck that ink right up. So this is quite effortless. I'm literally just touching the tip of the pen to the paper. And you see how that it soaks right up in there. Go. Perfect. That was an easy decision. Squeak, squeak. That's my chair. All right, so I'm gonna glue this down. Let me get a little glue stick here. And open it. Open it the right way. All right, edges. This. Okay, that's good. Wonderful. All right, and then we have our lyrics here. Let's do the flag first. I want to make sure it's gonna, oh, look at that. It's gonna fit perfectly. I just want to trim up a little bit of the top here. Fits a little better. Might as well just go all around. All right, now the trick is to try to get the plastic off. Ooh, it does come off. And then I'm going to use my scraper to lay it down. But look how cool that is. It goes right on there. It doesn't take away from the background. That blue doesn't show up either, the one I rubbed off the ink. So that's good. All right, so now we have to choose what, let's just take a portion of this. Maybe, how much? So I want to add this down here. So maybe up to diamond. I cut. And then I can use the rest for another postcard. I'll put you there. All right, let's give this a trim. That's not very straight. It's hard to get a grip on the edge of because of the vinyl keeps slipping, but I think that's fine. There we go. All right, so I don't want to cover her up, but you know what? I think that's okay. I'm gonna do it. Just paper and plastic, right? All right, let's lay this down. That's not bad. That actually that works pretty well. I am good with that. Yeah, use something to scrape the plastic to smooth it out, because you might get a couple of bubbles, and this will help get them out without rubbing the ink or, you know, messing up the way it's sitting. All right, let's get these trimmed up. And then I think we can move on to that first one and finish that one. I'm happy with that. I think that turned out great. Okay, so we have that one there. I am going to do a little bit of cleanup work, so I have a clear idea of what I'm doing on my other one. So for the other one, perfect. This is nice and dry. Well, a little bit of those. Not going to worry about it. I wonder if we put that there and then the lyrics over it. Yep, I'm going to do it. Let's tear it up. All right, almost there, almost there. That can go there, and then we have the lyrics on top. I think that's a great idea. Now, let's see. What color should I do on the edge? Maybe this lighter blue. This is blue-gray. Let's see what it looks like on here. Oh, that's not bad. Just want something that's not, white. And if you're wondering, I printed these photos on Hammermill 32-pound color copy paper, the same one I used for gel printing. Because there are some minds out there who want to know. There's some inquiring minds. Where does that fit in there? Come on. took you out of somewhere. So then, I think glue, you know what, no. I'm gluing to paint, so I'm gonna use my glitter glue because sometimes the glue stick doesn't adhere too well to the acrylic paint. So let's make sure that happens here because I wouldn't want this to start coming up under the plastic that we're gonna lay over it. Tissue here, just to push it down and get some of that extra glue. And then for this, I do need to trim it. So I'm gonna go ahead, trim it up. All right, this little nib needs to come off. There you go. And that should fit within this here perfectly. Look at that. All right, so peel it back. Do our best to center it. It's pretty centered. I'm not gonna worry about it now. And if I had a scraper, I'd be dangerous. Here it is. I don't know if you can hear that, but the people upstairs are vacuuming. I think they're singing along to something too. Sounds awful. Beautiful. You know what? I really like that. I really like that. I think we created a couple of really cool postcards today. And this I'm gonna put on the back so that folks know. Oh, well, you can't do that, Eddie. You gotta have something behind it. Let's see here. You know what, let me just put it back down on here. And then later on, off camera, I can put a little paper back here and then add this. I'll probably do it the long way because it is long. So I can do that. But I think these turned out wonderful. Just really simple, but it gets the message across. And that's, I think, what's important. So again, these postcards are for the makers of mixed media art and artists, run by PM Artist Studio. Makers Art is Patriotic postcard project. And all the info to how to get to the group and where to email Mariah if you want to participate will be in the description box to the video. Thank you, everyone, and don't forget, speak up. Speak up for everybody's rights, not just your own. This is a very important time in our history, and we need everybody's voice. There's no time for sitting back. There's no time for putting your head in the sand. We can't afford that. We have to do whatever we can, by any means possible, peacefully, but loudly. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you participate, and I can't wait to see what you make. That's what I'm trying to say. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day.